Hello, everyone.
How's it going,
Welcome
guys?
to Within the Cauldron. Tonight we have my two co-hosts. Well, actually, I guess you could say Nico is my partner, family, cousin. We have Nico and we have Drew, our spirit sister from Scotland. Tonight we were supposed to have Cindy. Brennan. She is not on yet. So we are going to talk about Book of Shadows, and then we're going to talk about budget, witchcraft on a budget. So, Nico, why don't you just get us started?
So, for Books of Shadows or Books of Memories, Grimoires, they're really important for our craft. Not only as like a family of witches that, this is something to pass down and the information that we've learned through our lives, but it's a fantastic resource to go back and read and see how you've done spells in the past. Um,
Yes.
Now I have two different versions. So I have a grimoire of spells that I've created with correspondences um, for or from my experience and my practice, and then I have what I call a working journal, which is what spells that I do when I did them and the circumstances. So like full moon, new moon, the ingredients involved in those, what day of the week, um, and then the spell itself, and then I give myself like 2 pages, and then I break them up into a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and a year, and then I revisit that
Oh,
after I do the spell, so that I can see has it come in, and really its purpose is this spell effective? What do I need to tweak? And mark my progress of okay, it took me this long to manifest this spell, so if I add something to speed up the spell or do it at a different time, I might get it quicker so that I can tweak things to my liking. I really recommend it. I don't know a lot of practitioners that do like an experimenting book, but I find it really helpful.
I
Sounds
do
really
too.
interesting.
Drew, how do you do your Book of Shadows? Or what do you put in it?
My book of shadows it's a really a big binder. So I've had it from the beginning of my journey, and basically what I've put in it so far is spells that I've used. I've put in like crystals and things that I use, mostly things that I've tried and tested, to be honest. But there is also in the back part of it, I've got other things like herbs and things that I would like to use. So mine's is more of a big journal, if you like, so far. So, but I have got many little books and things that I do put other things in, which I really do need to put in, make into one big book of shadows, if you like. But yeah, I like to put usually little pictures of things and then maybe an explanation of what it is. But to be honest, my book of shadows is something I really should be putting together because the one I've got so far is just really things I've tried and tested. So it's
Mm.
interesting to hear what Nico said there. That's really interesting. I might start that. That's good advice.
The other thing I'd recommend, with us being in the digital age, I love my physical books and I have a physical grimoire. But one thing that I started during COVID is I made myself a private Discord server for it's just me,
Mm.
and I write down my spells and I'll put titles on them, and I have categories. So I have spells, correspondences, deities, and it has a search function. So I can go in and I can access this from my phone, my computer, anywhere I have internet, and I can type in the search bar for I want my return to sender spell, and I can pull that up,
That's
and I
good.
don't have to dig a book out. And I started doing that because if I'm traveling or things like that, one lugging, God forbid you lose your
Yes.
grimoire while you're traveling
Yeah.
on an airplane or driving, you leave it at a client's house or something, and I got sick of. I was lugging like 3 or 4 books of shadows with me to clients' houses sometimes,
Yeah.
and it it's always funny just to see somebody unpack their like witch go bag. But I was sitting there like I can just pull this up on my phone, and it made my life so much easier. And if you have like any familiarity with Discord, making your own server is super easy.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it doesn't have to be pretty. It can be neat if you want it to, but there is a search function. So as long as you label things, you can find it.
Yes.
Funny
We have
story quickly. When I went to Sister Sherry's the first time last year, I took candles with me, I took incense, I took altar cloths, and it was so silly because, of course, I was going to another witch's house. So all the stuff that I took, I had to just bring straight back. It was so silly. So the next time I go, I remember. Next time I went, sorry, I remembered that I didn't have to take my own supply things. So I totally get that, Nico. You feel as if you need
Oh
to take everything. Yeah.
oh, yeah. We have book shadows. We have too many books, actually. But
it's a
in our tradition in the Surgeria, we always call it Book of Ways, which
Yeah.
is the same thing as
Mm.
Book of Shadows. Um, we have, like I said, we have many. We have first we start off as digital, because and we keep that. So we have a different email just for everything that we have in Book of Shadows
Yeah.
because it's really good to kind of have a backup like that in
hmm
case something happened. Because we had a fire one time and
Wow.
it didn't burn up Book of Shadows, but it came close. There was smoke.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sue. We
It
had a
was maybe a warning to do it online
yes.
for a backup. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I will suggest to everybody to at least have a backup on your computer, laptop, whatever, um, just in case.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we always tell people, like when we teach students, we always have everybody to handwrite Book of Shadows, which is cool,
Yeah.
but it does not last. They
Yeah.
get tired of it or they forget about it or something. So having something probably typed up or have them do like, for herbs, how to draw their herbs or something or place a dried herb on the page. So that it makes it more of them, of a piece of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we have had oh gosh, I think a Book of Shadows has everything from the basics to the advanced, herbs,
Mm.
spells, crystals, correspondence. I mean, it's pretty large. I mean, we have I think the biggest binders you have, like maybe
They're like the big
Is it
three
this
inch
one?
yeah,
This
the
binders.
10
one?
inch maybe or 8 inch. I'm not for sure what you call it. But let's go to the audience and
Yeah. hmm
Wendy,
That's
You've
who
my
got
one.
like 4 of those.
yeah. I have several books of shadows and book of light. One is for rituals and teachings, one is for spell work and meditation. Yes.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. hmm
I
Yeah.
just did that. I condensed the big 10-inch binders down to sections about probably 2 inches, 3 inches, and it's easier that way too. Besides going through your book of shadows and like, where is that at? Where is that at?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Even
That's
if
what I
you
do.
have,
I've got so many
if you
And
books.
that's one
have
thing
a table
that
of
people.
contents, you would still get all flustered because they're so big and you have to go through the pages and everything. You
Mhm.
try to go through the pages really nice and neat so you don't rip anything. But we always use sheet protection too.
Yeah.
Um, I found them very nice to use and safeguard everything.
Well,
But
that
yes,
Yeah.
helps
that's a
so much.
very good idea, Wendy, is to kind of categorize your book shadows. That is great.
And it
Definitely.
helps with the like daunting task of like the further you get in your practice and you're looking back and you're like, well, I didn't leave room for this like subject, or
Yes.
I want to expand on this. And if you're just handwriting in a physical book, unless you're going to unbind it and then rebind it and sort your pages, that's a task on its own.
Yeah, it's
Um,
hard to know how much room to leave,
the
isn't it, for future info?
Oh, I
yeah, the three
know. I hate.
binders are amazing. Digital copies. Um, and then I'm a paranoid tech person, so like I have mine backed up on a flash drive. So
Yes.
I've had hard drives in my computer go out and lost everything before.
Right.
So I have it's stored on the cloud essentially. I have them in my Google
Mhm.
Documents, and then I have a physical book, and then I have them on a flash drive. Just
Yeah.
in case something happens,
Hmm.
I have copies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not really a lot of work, if especially if you do digital copies first,
Mhm.
because the USB you can just download it, transfer
Exactly.
over, take it
Yeah.
to different emails or folders and everything. It's so much easier. Um,
Mhm.
that is probably the best ways
Oh
to
yeah,
do.
it's my favorite because I've been making mine into PDFs so that I can they're in a format that I can print out or that I can throw them in a file and like sort them. They're all labeled, and it has made my chaotic little gremlin life so much easier. Because before I started doing this, my book of shadows was literally like 12 notebooks
That's what mine's is
and
like.
like things scattered on scrap paper like around my altar room
Mhm.
and trying to find the sigil that you use to do something or um, that spell you did last month. Nightmare.
Where's my notes
Nightmare.
for it again? Yeah, I get it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I do too. And also, you can make your own book shadows, from cover to
Oh yeah.
cover too.
Mhm.
That is just
It can be
that's
as
very
pretty as
magical
you
to
want.
do.
Yeah.
If you are gifted and love doing scrapbooking and things, you can make very pretty ones. You can
Mhm,
buy like bookshelves. So
mhm.
um, I think one of the members of your coven commissioned somebody to make um, Book of Shadow shells for their book.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
and that looked absolutely gorgeous. It's like
Yeah.
English ivy and roses on the corners.
You want this?
Mhm.
Super pretty.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you can do them. It's kind of the beauty of it is that they can be as pretty or as messy and chaotic as you want them to, as
Yeah.
long as you have it somewhere. Um, I mean, that's really what matters. If you can find things in it, and that's how your brain works, that's fine.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys. What do you do with your book of shadows? I mean, do you put it on a stand when you do your, worshiping, or do you put it in front of you? What do you do with it? Where do you put it at on your altar and stuff?
I generally so with how my altar is set up. So in my house, um, I have my physical altar, and then I'll have my circle made around that, and then I'll be on the floor, book in front of me.
Hmm.
Now, if I'm doing a public rite, I have a podium. It goes on my little podium, and then I have like a book weight to hold the pages down, and then we'll do ritual out of that.
I
But
take notes
otherwise,
from mine. Oh, sorry, Mookie, I didn't. I thought you were finished. Sorry,
oh
brother.
no, no, go ahead.
Sorry. I take notes from mine. If you notice, mine is the big binder. So usually what I'll do is I'll get my little notepad and things that I've got many of. This is the problem. I end up taking little notes from the big one. To, like I need a red candle, I need this incense, or I need this, and this. So I'll
Hmm.
take a little note and then I'll go do what I need to do. And then usually I'll have my grimoire out for effect and things. If it's something that I want the full effect look, I'll set my grimoire out usually. But usually I take notes and then I'll get everything from that. With the intent, of course, to put everything that I've done into a new big book of shadows to make it
Mm,
look special. But we're in the progress of that, let's say.
mhm,
Yeah. We have a like a book stand that, that's shaped like this, and we just
mm,
put it on there. It's easy to flip the pages over and everything. We have a little clip that we put on to keep the pages from not flying anywhere when it's windy if we go outside. Um, that's now when we first, probably ages ago, when we first kind of started out with the covenant and everything, we we had a maiden, because we have maiden, mother, and crone in our coven. I would have the maiden hold the book shadows.
Hold it.
well, we do the ritual and stuff too.
Right.
So yeah,
For
I mean,
public rituals, we make
she was happy with it.
Should have
we
loved
pick
it.
a like one or two honorary kids from the audience, and we have one of them make the circle. So we give them a wand,
I would
have
love
go around the
that.
circle and carve out the circle. And then the other one holds the book and goes from the pillars. So to the five, or we have the five speakers and then the two priests up front,
Wow.
and they'll pass the book around to the corners, and then return the book back up to the altar stand, and
There
then
you
we'll
go.
read the high priest and priest parts.
That is something that is really amazing because kids are so innocent. So them doing that, they're doing it out of pure love and enjoyment,
Yep.
and there's nothing that would interfere with the way they are doing that out of pure joy and love,
Mhm.
and that sets them up for whatever future they want to have in the
Oh yeah.
craft because it's right in the core of their foundation, knowing that they've started with doing rituals and things. That's
Mhm.
amazing. I would have loved that as a kid.
Oh yeah. And then so we do our ritual, and after we have we always do like um a potluck, and then we have crafts, so we'll have spells associated for the Sabbath that you can take home. So like little spell jars or poppets that you can make while there, and then like a little pamphlet with
Nice.
it. And then there's always themed food, and there's always like one or two kids crafts, so like coloring sheets, or the last one we did dream catchers. So we had the little kids weave and then beat up little dream catchers to take home,
Wow.
and like super family friendly. We had a goat rescue come out. We had a lady who brought us three little baby goats to
Oh.
play with after the
Oh,
ritual, and it was so cute.
Yeah. See,
that
that's
is cute.
amazing. That's the best way to get the kids involved, is to
Mhm.
show them what it's all about, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
I
Mhm.
love that.
Well,
Yeah.
like it's a for the Sabbats and stuff. Like it's a party. It's a like community celebration,
Yeah.
and like ours are family friendly. It's open to all ages. If you can bring them and they're okay being in an outside space, by all means.
Yeah, yep, for sure. Um, so I just want to let everybody know in the audience that you don't have to make things fancy. Okay, if you're not an artist or good at crafts, don't worry about it. If you want to buy your book of shadows, then buy one. It's fine. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to make one. You can, because the part about the craft is you can do whatever you can
Hmm.
with your means.
Yeah.
Being within your means, you can do whatever. Which brings us to witchcraft on a budget. And
Mm.
so, what are some ways, Drew, that you do witchcraft on a budget?
I'm a great believer, guys, in recycling your wax. So if you do have any wax, such as a lot of us like wax melts and things as well. So even the wax from wax melts and things, recycle all that. Especially if you've put it in a room where it's the family room, all that energy of your family, who it's all got the loving vibes and the interactions between you all. When you when you originally put that down, make it as a absorber of the energy, so that when the fragrance has went out it, and I'm talking about wax melts, then you can reuse that wax to make a candle out of, and reuse that with the, maybe to like do a candle for the love of your family, or maybe even a healing candle out to anything that you think it's apt for. Candle wax is great. It's expensive as well. So anytime you
Mhm.
can recycle the little bits from your candles that don't burn, anything like that at all, recycle it, because you do save a lot of money. And you can always reprogram it with your energy and things. So definitely
Absolutely.
your candle wax, I say.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Yeah. I like I know when the kids was smaller, um, they always loved doing that, um, taking the old candles and melting them down and make their own,
Yeah.
adding herbs and little stone chips and everything, um, to them. Um, it's very nice. And we also used to make beeswax candles
Yeah.
too. Um, which because I think we probably did that several times with the coven members too. We
Mhm.
just took a day and we just made supplies is what we did. Candles was one of the biggest things that we always went through fast. I mean, of course you all know that. um, one thing is if you go to Dollar Tree, they have, a lot of great stuff. Even Goodwill, Salvation Army, vases for flowers, for the
Mhm.
goddess. Um, They even have chalices, maybe, you know, white handled knives. They have a lot of stuff there too that you can't get.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I
definitely.
go to the Dollar Tree
There's
a lot
some
too to look around.
there's some great things. Dollar stores, thrift stores. For candles, like we'll say you can buy 7-day votive candles from the dollar store.
Mhm.
My gripe with it is they never center their wicks, so
Mhm.
you have to like dig through them and find one that's the wicks are centered in,
Mhm.
and or I have to remelt the whole thing to center the wick so that it's gonna burn right. Um, they are affordable. You can buy them in bulk. My other suggestions for candles are at most craft stores or like Walmart. You can buy like a bulk set of tea light candles. You can get like 90
Yeah.
of them for or 100 for like
Mhm.
under $10.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
Yeah.
I have a warmer plate on my stove, so I will take the tea lights and melt them down, and then I will section them out into groups, and I will add herbs to my candles based off of like, prosperity, health, love,
good.
blessings, and then I put them in a Ziploc bag after they cool down, and I label the bag. And then I've turned 100 candles into different spell candles that I can use. Um,
Grab
and then the
quickly.
other one is there's a Jewish community out here, and so one of our grocery stores carries Shabbos candles, which are they're 3 hour white candles that are blessed that are used for the weekend holiday in Jewish tradition. They're $7 for a box of 100, and they're 3 hour 3 hour little taper candles.
Well,
Oh yeah.
I selfishly buy like one or two boxes every year, and I use them for everything. They have a great burn time. They aren't a super messy candle. They're super easy to dress, and otherwise, Amazon you can get the chime candles or the hour to 3 hour candles is the name of them. But
Yeah,
you
that's
can
what
get a
we have.
multi pack. Yeah, you can get a multi pack on
Mhm.
Amazon. I want to say for like $15, you get like 100 candles or something. So it's
Yep.
really not horrible.
yeah.
Um, but also birthday candles.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
definitely for quick
size, yeah,
spells. Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
size of the candle does kind of depend on how quick the spell goes out
Yep.
and how much energy and time you're putting into it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you need to send a spell out, you need it quick and you don't have anything, birthday candles. I've done matches. Um, there's all sorts. The one of the other things that I'm really big into is I love foraging in my practice. So I work very heavily with the local land,
Mhm.
and I will go out and go on hikes, and I take a like collapsible pouch with me and some shears, and I will sustainably harvest local plants to use in my practice. So I'm getting um, plants for free or herbs for free that I can try, and then rock hounding, which is digging for crystals. My sister-in-law absolutely loves doing that, and she lives in Sedona, Arizona, and they have huge pockets of quartz and super good energy. There's a vortex out there. So she's always bringing me boxes, and I mean like huge boxes of crystals. Um, but look in your area, see what is around you locally,
Mhm.
plant-wise for crystals. You would be absolutely surprised what
Yeah.
you can walk outside and get for free.
Yeah.
And it's a little cheeky, but you know the rock beds that they have outside of the grocery stores, especially the ones here in America, but in England as well. Like the rock beds in the parking lots have a lot of jasper in them.
Mhm.
Right.
So those red rocks are jasper, and it's just
Right.
3 piles of jasper and quartz.
Need to have a look.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of things out the little stores you can get, guys. Such as they were saying, like your birthday candles and things. Anything that you're drawn to as well. There may be something that you think, why am I drawn to that? I maybe not need it. I don't need it right now, but take it anyway because
Oh
further
yeah.
down the line, that'll be a sign that further down the line
Mhm.
you're going to need it,
Mhm.
especially if you're out in nature. You'll maybe not
Oh yeah.
know why you're drawn to pick up an old branch that's lying, for example, and then you'll take it home, dry it out, and then 2 weeks later you'll realise, all right, I was meant to make something out of that. There's lots of things,
Oh
So
yeah.
anything you're drawn
Yes.
to, especially if it's for free.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now
Oh yeah.
for herbs, always use I recycle those seasoned like those little McCormick glass
Yeah, the
seasoning
seasoning jars.
jars.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, right, yeah.
I do that. I will recycle those. They're great to do it.
Yeah.
Just put the label on it, what it is,
Oh yeah.
and they're small, and you can just carry them with you too, as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, Dollar Tree has some jars too that you can use too. That's perfect size for the herbs that you have and everything. So you can also recycle is probably one of the best things to do.
Mhm.
Actually, is just throw them away. Just wash them out, dry them good, and put something else in them. And I think Nick has
Definitely.
You're going to show
Oh yeah.
us, Nick.
Bear with. Let me take my
Oh,
background off.
Mind
So
boggle.
yeah,
yep.
All right, yeah.
absolutely. Recycled pickle jar, spice jars, Dollar Tree jars. Um, my friend had a wedding, and their centerpieces were a bunch of these glass vials. And
Right.
part of my payment for doing their hand fasting was she gave me like 4 cases of these.
Seven.
Oh, wow.
It's the same as
And
that one that's got the white crystal, the Himalayan salt in.
hmm
Yeah.
yep.
Exact
And
same. It's
then
all just
droppers. Like I recycle. Being My husband calls it being like a crow, where I hoard like glass jars. Like I'm always saving a pickle jar, or if a candle comes into a good jar, like I'm keeping the jar in the lid and I'm gonna use that for herbs. You name
You
it.
sound so like me. I won't show you under my table. Yeah.
because it's copyrighted.
Oh. Yeah, we get these right here put in the there you go.
Oh
And
yeah. Uh-huh.
see, and we just, once they get empty, we wash them out, we fill them up, and everything. We have bigger jars too for
Yeah.
like sage, loose sage we use a lot too. So
Mugwort.
anything like mugwort, yeah, anything that we use a lot, we put in the bigger jars. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're really nice because you can take them with you anywhere, in your purse, and so that's pretty cool, and least
And a
expensive too.
bottle as well. Anytime you can get a nice bottle
Mhm.
to
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
bottle oil and things in, yes, definitely. So anything like that, even if you think that it's you don't need it, keep it anyway because guaranteed further down the line you're going to make an oil and need it. I promise
Hmm.
Absolutely.
you.
That's for sure. I somebody said something. Let me see. William, it was you. Here you go.
Three of them, sorry. I got three of them on you
Oh, those
call
are
it
nice.
Oh, that's a good
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And I had them for about a year, maybe 2 years, and then I started to make my own oils. So this one has
Mhm.
got my magical herbal. This is eucalyptus. This one has got eucalyptus in it, and I love it. And I think I
Oh,
got them for about £1 for three of them or something. So you
That's really
definitely
good.
will need them. Yeah.
I just want to do a shout out to William. He says my favorite spiritualist in New Orleans is Sally Ann Glassman, who is a voodoo priestess.
Oh,
I just wanted to tell you, William, that we did make contact with her. So as soon as she gets busy with her summer, she may come on. So I just want to let you know that to always keep tuning in to see who we will have as guests. So I just want to shout that
Oh
out
yeah.
to you. That's all.
that'll be cool to see.
So
The guests on this show, guys, are amazing. Definitely go back the list and see who's all been on because it's a great some of the teachings and things they've got on
it's
there.
this summer is going to be kind of hard because everybody's doing festivals and touring. The new books are coming out. So you probably see a lot more of just us discussing different things, um, different crafts. We got lessons told. We have other people coming on to just talk about random things too as well. But we try to keep it interesting and you know real and everything. And we like to hear from our audience about anything as well. And one thing that we have that other podcasts don't have is that we have friends that would come on and help us out. We would support each other, like Drew and our friend Sherry. So it's really cool because we can help each other out, go on different podcasts and teach and learn. And while I'm on the subject of teaching and learning, Sherry's not here right now, but I just want to say that Drew and I and Nico and the within the Cauldron family, and then we have Mike and Rudy that's coming on to Spirituality and Beyond Network. Something that we offer. Sherry's setting everything up for us. Thank you, sister. She's amazing. This has been a dream of hers for a long time, and we're going to try to help her fulfill that dream. So she got a son from my mom. I think you was there too, wasn't you, Jude? Nico was there. He saw it first, and so yeah, we are going in and hopefully bring you more teachings where you can learn everything. Advice, counseling. We're not therapists. We're not therapy. We can just give you our personal advice.
Yes.
That's
There's a
it.
lot of people out there need guidance, and the last time Sister Sherry and I did a networking where we were helping people and things, we had a lot of people reach out to us on Messenger and things that
Mhm.
really needed help. And it not just help with their spiritual path, but help in their daily life to get some
Yeah.
structure going again. Maybe they're lost in a bit of depression but they
Mhm.
are spiritual beings like us, and they just don't know how to get back to it. You get a lot of that when you start networking, and that is what I want to do, guys. That is what I miss. I miss the one-to-one and
Yeah.
helping people, and this is how it starts, because there's a lot of people. I was lost when I started this, and I called out to something, and just by chance I managed to get on my spiritual path. So there's many people out there lost and want to just get somebody like us to push them in the right direction. And then from them on, they thrive. They love it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you know, Nico and I are so blessed on behalf of within the Cauldron family to meet such beautiful ladies like you and Sherry because you guys came into our lives and making things better. So it's great. We all had the same dream
Vice
and
versa. Yeah.
combination. Yeah, so it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And in
great.
the comments, I put there's some good digital resources for you guys too if you don't have access to any money. Pathos.com does a bunch of pagan lore and resources that are free. Project Gutenberg is a library archive, and they have thousands of books. There's a large section of like historical mythos books, um, and a bunch of books that are out of print. So it's a great place if you're interested in historical witchcraft. There is another one that is escaping me that has it's a large archive. I'll add it to the comments if I find it. Um, but there's some great free resources um, that you guys can find. And while I don't advocate for book piracy, um, there are proper channels that you can go through to get books by authors. Most
Mhm.
of the authors I know personally, if you sent them an email and be like, hey, I'm really interested in your book, but I have absolutely no way to afford it, there's a chance that they may just give you a digital copy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Or sometimes
and
they just have it on Kindle too, because
yeah,
it
yeah.
might be like a book they did maybe 5 years ago, 6 years
Mhm.
ago, and so
Still
yeah, there's a
relevant.
lot of books
Oh
on
yeah, like
Kindle or Audible that you can get for free.
M. Ballinger moved a lot of their books to be like $2 or $3 off of their personal website. So like their newest book I think is like $15 or something. But all of their older texts are at like a super discounted rate, and that profit still goes directly into their pocket.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Something. See, I would love to know the history of all the goddesses and things. I would love to be able to read it like a story from the beginning. I know that there is books out there to do that, because I'm terrible with the way that it all works out with the different goddesses and things like
Mhm.
that. So I would love to read the story. I'll need to have a look.
I would
Yeah.
see if there's a Neil Gaiman copy of the mythology. Um, I got one for my husband for the Norse mythology,
Right.
and because he was struggling to read the Eddas in their original state, and the retelling through Gaiman is a lot more digestible. It's not
Right.
as super accurate, but it is way more digestible, and especially when you get into some of these historical, like foundational texts in different mythologies, like the Mabinogi. Like I'm a book nerd and I transliterate. So when I studied the Eddas, I had four different authors' translations, and then we had the Old Norse, and then I was translating the Old Norse into English and like comparing the translations,
Wow.
because when you're reading through like pagan poetry, like one word being translated differently can change the entire context.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
And we did
Yeah.
that with our coven. You don't have to do that, but it was an exercise to show our coven like the work that went into translating these and how
Right.
your perception of the mythology can drastically change the persona of those deities.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I would love to have a call. Well, even if you want to put it in the Within the Cauldron chat, and I'll have a read at it if I can find it for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can plug that in the because there's an audiobook on YouTube that's his book, and you
Right.
can just listen to it if you don't want to read it. I don't think I don't have the PDF of that one, but I can get the audiobook.
That would be great. Thank you very much, Nico.
And
Yeah.
I think there's one for the Mabinogi too, which is Celtic.
Mhm.
It's Wales, I believe Wales and Irish mythology.
Okay.
Scotland's got their own deity structure, so that one I'll have to look and see. I don't have a lot on Scottish deities.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with history.
Oh
I'm
no,
just
you're
not on
fine.
me. That's one thing I'm very lacking.
I'm a
is
history
history.
nerd, so it's like I
You love it.
this is not a brag, but I um, academically study folklore. So
Right.
I have hundreds of books from like the 12th through like the 19th century on like fairy encounters in different countries. So like the Devonshire, Courtney, like different named fairies.
We'll see if I
Different.
ever come to where you are. I will visit your house, and I promise I'll just sit in the one little room reading all your books, okay? Just throw me water and a bit of bread every so often.
They're digital. I can send you it. It's too many gigabytes. I told Drew about that, and I was like, "You don't understand how much of like a fairy folklore nerd I am. Like, I've got all the books."
Yeah, I
Now,
would love to.
Drew, when's your next podcast? That's going to be. I know you do on Monday with Sherry,
Yeah,
and then you do one Tuesday. Drew Divine, is that
I do the
correct?
divination on Tuesdays, such as your tarot, postcard from spirit. Last week we did the Ogham Celtic staffs readings,
Ooh,
so we did that was pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah, we try and do a different divination. The basic ones are your tarot and your oracle cards, of course, but we do try to mash it up a little bit, do spirit coin and things for an answer and things. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's right
I
up
love,
my
I
alley.
love divination. Anything to talk to the divine or spirit, then I'm in.
yes,
Yeah.
The weird
yes,
divinations are my favorite. There's some really, really cool ones.
Yeah. There's
yeah.
so many now, isn't there? There's your
I did my
dice.
dissertation on it. I did my whole dissertation on different divinations in different cultures and how
There's so many.
they're still like used and still practiced. Because I had to
Yeah.
jab at the historians who are like, pagan cultures and like witchcraft is dead. It's been dead. And it's like, no. Why do these cultures still practice divination?
We have always got divination rods beside us in Scotland, actually. Not too
Mhm.
far away there.
Cool.
Always beside us.
Yeah, and Sherry has one Monday that she
Yeah.
always do. Um, so everybody, please tune in for for Sherry and Sister Drew. We also have one Tuesday from Within the Cauldron with Nico, Eric, and Rindy. Talking about creation. Was that it? Pagan
Mm,
creation. I think it is.
Polytheism. So like it's the different forms of like paganism. So like monotheism, polytheism
Yeah.
versus or pantheism, and kind of where we fall between them, and like the different avenues from different traditions. Because like
Mm-hmm.
Voodoo is technically monotheistic. They believe in one creator spirit, but there's a lot of emissaries that they work with and do spell work with, which is the Loa or the Orisha, and
yeah.
those are like what we would consider the gods. So those
Right.
are the
Okay.
working forces to communicate with their higher force, but there's only one creator in theirs. Whereas um, like in Wicca, you have the dualism where you have like the male and female aspect of the divine.
Yeah.
And then pantheists, depending on their cultural base, they have their own creation myths and their own pantheon of gods.
Yeah.
But they're all pagan, and they're all different aspects of paganism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have I think that's all we have for next Tuesday. I think we're taking a little small break because we've been doing a lot of podcasts and everything. And we have to kind of do a time management of sort things out in our lives to pagan lives, which is witchy lives.
Yeah.
But we will be back after next Tuesday. We will be back on May 4th with Taylor Elwood, so an author. And then we have on the 6th. Now we'll all be fighting over who's going to go on this one because we have Michelle Banniger. That's in there, Banniger
Wow.
M.
to come
Ballinger.
on.
Yep.
Yeah, and this
Wow.
is something really big for us because we just love her. I mean, everything she touches, we love.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really happy for that and everything. And then we'd be back on to a regular schedule probably. But I also want to make sure that you guys in the audience also subscribe to not just to our channel, but also to a sister channel, Drew's and Sherry's, and also a new channel that we have on called Behind the Witch's Veil. Now, this is going to be owned by the same family. It's going to be Nico and my two daughters. Um, they are going to specialize in the paranormal, cryptids, unique lifestyles, haunted dolls.
Ooh,
So yeah, but we just need people to subscribe. Actually,
I will be there. I always say I'm a witch by heart, but paranormal is my passion.
I think we
yeah.
need, what,
So
50 subscribers to be able to do live streams off of that channel?
Yes, I think
yeah,
it is now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're up to. I think they're up to like 13 or 14, maybe.
Okay.
Nick, I'm not for sure. So yeah. So please subscribe there as well, so we can bring you. We trying to not really separate the two, but just trying to keep both kind of separated for our sanity mostly. So that's and everything. And Wendy said actually the one on the 29th is a discussion on pagan personal belief on creation. So just wanted everybody to know that. But we're all going to do one on polytheists too as well. And we are trying to bring up something for June because June is Pride Month as well. And Nico is helping out trying to bring something for the LGBTQ. So we just don't know what yet. We gotta find something that's kind of like in a spiritual time, I guess you can say. Um,
On Within the Cauldron, the Facebook page, I'm one of the admins. I will, closer to Pride Month, I'll probably make a chat group, and then I'm hoping to get some members in there from the LGBT community, and we can do either like a queer community witchy history, or talk about our experiences. Get a couple people to talk about our experiences as LGBT members within the pagan community.
People are asking
Yeah.
for the link for the within the
I
behind
am.
the.
I'm bringing the link up for you guys.
Oh,
Just give me a
that's what I
second
was going to
here.
say then. Because when the summer comes here, usually when the summer, spring comes here, I can get out ghost hunting pretty often to the old castle. There's a castle about 2 minutes walk from me. and there's the haunted lane and different things and the old railway. So anytime I'm going to do live streams and things, if you are interested for your paranormal channel, I'll go live on there as well and let you see an old spooky Scottish castle and things
Ooh,
live if you
that
want.
would be totally awesome. Yeah, I am trying to get the link up, you guys. So just give me a second here.
Thank you for
So,
subscribing, everybody.
yeah, we do this because, we don't get paid for, and we love doing that. It's fun.
Right.
And we love to interact with all the audience too, as well. So, please subscribe so we know that we are doing something that you like. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
putting the link down here. Let me see. There we go. So this is the link to Nico's and my daughter's YouTube. If it ever comes up, let me see. Oh, there it goes. Yep. So it's not a hyperlink. I don't know why it didn't, but anyway, you got the idea what it is going to be called and everything. And so, and Drew, if you want to put your link in, you can.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine and everything because we want to make sure that everybody subscribe and share, like, you know, um, we do this for you guys. That's one thing I can say. Uh, and thank you.
I'll grab Sister Sherry's as well. That's my link, guys. Wait, no, grab Sister Sherry's.
Okay, yeah, grab hers, please, because she's a part of this. So. And if you don't know, we do have a Facebook group called Within the Cauldron that we do have about 7 to 8 chats in there that has specific topics. We just got a new chat for mediumship. If you want to learn how to do mediumship, you have to go to that group and then you just ask us to invite you and we invite you in to the mediumship group. It's not a public chat, it is by invitation only. But the group it's private, but
We
if you
accept new members.
yeah, we do accept members and everything. Um
I
now
can't share links because
We
I'm not
post
moderating.
daily questions about different aspects of the occult, witchcraft, paranormal. Um, we have a host of files of different things from spells, meditations,
yeah.
lore for different deities,
More or less if you
herbalism.
yeah, if more or less if you want something, just ask. You know,
Oh yeah,
Nico and I, or Amy and Amber, my husband Chris, or many members that are very great at sharing. Just ask, and somebody will give you the answer.
absolutely. If we don't know it, chances are we know somebody that does the practice,
Yes.
is in the practice,
Mm-hmm.
or in some cases, the author of the book might be in our group.
Yeah, you never know. We do have several authors into our group as well. Yes.
Yeah.
And Drew, you have a Facebook group too, correct?
Yes, I've got my Drew's Paranormal Vlog Facebook group,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. So please look
You
that
know,
up
grab
too.
it.
And our
Yeah.
sister Sherry
Yeah,
has
yeah.
groups too.
I can't share the links because I'm not a moderator on Within the Cauldron YouTube channel, but I did try and put the links for Sister Sherry's channel in the
If
chat,
you
guys.
put it in the private chat, we can throw it on.
Right. It's because I'm on my phone. My
I don't know
Oh,
if it would
what's
let
that?
her or
very
anything. You
loud.
might have to do
Another
that,
time.
Nick.
Yeah,
Oh,
you could
for
do it another
sure.
time, guys.
Or for Drew's.
For Sherry.
Oh,
My
1
computer
second.
is very laggy. Thank you very much, Kara.
Here we are.
Sister
So
Cindy
you
was
know,
here.
we do
Drew's
have.
paranormal vlog.
Thank you very much.
Oh, great. Thank you. We do have another podcast coming up at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time with Nico and Chris doing Lesson Told tonight. So please don't miss that. Something new that we are doing, just kind of work it out. So, this is the second session we're having, and we have them every other Tuesday
Mhm.
at 8 p.m. as
And this
Central
one
Standard Time.
is on altars. So traditional altar setups, and then the creation and setup for the different kinds of altars that you may have in your practice: ancestor altars, spirit altars, house spirits.
Mhm.
Uh, we covered the elementals in our last one and how to set up altars for those. And I'm super excited. I got some good stuff.
Excited.
Nick is so excited.
I love it.
I'm so happy because my
And if
husband,
you're
he
going,
likes to teach too, but he's at the age where like the young ones needs to take over. So,
well, it gives me
so
writing prompts.
we have because
If you go to our Facebook page, in the files tab, I just uploaded a whole Book of Shadows worksheet to go along with our conversation, which covers different types of altars, what you may put on them, and then it has spaces built in so that you can put notes pertaining to your individual practice.
yeah, it's on 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and that is 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The UK time would be what, 5 hours
5 hours ahead.
ahead? I think it's a 5 or 6 hours ahead, Drew.
Right, so that would be 9 o'clock. Your time is 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's okay. I'll still be up at that time. Yeah, it's only 2 hours away, guys.
So it's about 12 o'clock, or no?
It's 12 o'clock now here, so it'll be about 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Okay, yeah. So
But you can watch the archive too. So if you're in UK time, you can always rewatch the recapture
Yeah, I usually do that because
in
it's
the
too
morning.
late. But tonight I'm going to watch it live.
oh yeah,
Mhm,
that's one thing about YouTube. It's always going to be there. So,
mhm.
Yeah,
but
I'll be there.
um, I'm going to say pretty much we're going to end this podcast. I'm so sorry that Cindy didn't show up. Something probably must have happened. Hopefully not. But it's past 6, so even if she got the time wrong, it's
She's
it's
maybe not be able to get in. Yeah,
yeah.
it's maybe
So
bad.
I promise I will reach out to her and try to have her back on, and well, have her on. She hasn't been here yet, but have her on. In the meantime, don't forget, in about an hour and a half, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, Lessons Told by Nico and Chris. And I just want to say thank you all. Subscribe to all of us and share and like us.
Thank
Bye.
you. Blessings, everybody.
Blessings, guys.
Great Goddess, I am so thankful to have you guiding me, protecting me. I am so thankful to have you guiding me, protecting me. I am great Goddess, I am so thankful to have